hard-fought game, certainly some adversity. I thought Josh Allen continued to make some big-time throws and plays out there. It was great to come up with the interception, Logan Wilson, late in the ball game. And, I was not surprised that Utah State came roaring back. It's the same offense that scored 58 points on us last year. We knew they had good players, so I thought our defensive guys responded. Gives us another win on the mountainside, which is huge. And we're just going to get ready to play UNLV. So questions.
Did you see a lull in the defense at all in this?
No, we got 2 3-and-outs, and they have good players, and I was scared to death of that. I was scared to death, and they hit us over the top on a deep post, and which was a big play. And like I said, we went 3-and-out, and we got some momentum back. So we're excited we won the game.
Is it tough not to take the foot off the pedal a little bit, just with that big of a lead there for the guys, even if they try not to?
I think a little bit. We tried to make sure we got the ball to the tailback a little bit more, and I thought Utah State did a good job neutralizing that, and it forced us to get back into some plays on the edge with Josh and the bootlegs and the counter and the quarterback run game.
How big was when DJ left on the targeting call? I mean, he looked like he was pretty active and having a pretty good game. And I don't know, did you get to see it, a replay? I don't want to get you in trouble with it.
No, I won't. I can't really comment on it other than the information I got was that, the initial hit was low, but then it went high, and he got ejected. And, what was the challenge was, he was our main nickel. And so a little bit of a challenge there. We'll have to see how we respond this next week.
Like you mentioned, lots of big plays from Josh. I think he had 5 third down runs in the first half.
I thought he played a phenomenal football game. There was many times that there wasn't anything there, and he made something, not so much out of nothing, but he made a lot of plays tonight. And when he's active, we're very active on offense.
You mentioned a lot of the guys that put 58 on you from Utah State were back, but Josh and Tanner didn't play in that game.
Right.
You mentioned Logan Wilson and Rico forced to fumble. There's a lot of, even Chase didn't play last year. You got a lot of guys that.
We're a different football team. We're a different football team, and I believe we're 7-2. And that record, a lot of guys have worked really hard, and we're going to do everything we can to get to 8-2.
Is DJ, and especially a difficult guy to kind of make up for, just given his athleticism?
Really is. He's a unique player. Had a compound effect on the return game, the kickoff return, and the nickel play.
Coach, when you look at how Josh has been doing these last couple games, his ability to stretch plays, how much of that is him? How much of that is the offensive line just kind of being able to protect him?
Well, I think the offensive line has done a good job, but Josh has done a great job eluding the rush, making plays either with his legs while he's running or throwing the ball. And I think we need to give some credit to the receivers too. They're making some great catches. I thought Jake Hollister made a phenomenal catch, and Jake Mulhard made a great catch on the first touchdown, and then Tanner in the end zone. And there's some big-time plays being made.
When Utah State goes ahead and they score so much in that short expanse of time, what can you do as a coach to kind of get your guys' minds right, or can you at all?
Well, first thing we needed to do was get a couple drives going. We needed to make some adjustments on defense, which we were able to do. And then we changed up some things, in the back end, our back seven, which helped. And the other thing, too, when their quarterback went down, that changed the dynamics of the game. That quarterback is a really good player. And their backup, obviously, there's a backup for a reason, and that had an impact. And we started getting some pass rush on him.
Craig, did you get a sense just the confidence of this team kind of carrying over from the end of last week with that quick start for you guys tonight?
Well, we started out great. Now I think we'll take a hard look, and it was a wake-up call that we've got to keep playing football. And you're up by this many points. We need to play on both sides of the football, and that's another step of a mature football team, which we're not right now. And so we put this game in jeopardy when we really had an opportunity to kind of put it away, and we're going to address that. But I don't want to make light of this team that we played tonight. Took us to the woodshed last year. Those guys that were there, it was an ugly game, and We won it, I don't know by how many points,
24.
24 points. So we're going to be excited. It was a good win for us.
Looking at rivalry games, I mean, between CSU and this one, I mean, how nice is it to kind of know that the regional foes have kind of been
Yeah.
this year?
Well, we got a rifle. I know our players are looking for the rifle at the end of the game, so we got to have a place for that. You know, I do know, talking to Coach Savani many years ago, this was a big ball game between Wyoming and Utah State, and so it's great to come up with a win. And like I said, we're going to enjoy this, but we got a big game coming up this next week.
Do you like the rifle as a trophy to have?
It's a little bit of a unique one, I can tell you that. I mean, maybe, I don't know if there's some rules on campus you can't have a rifle, so I better check on that one. Thanks a lot, guys.
You've said a lot this season that you owed a lot of people,
Yeah.
from some of the frustrations of past seasons. Did you feel like you really owed the Utah State after what happened last year up there? And was that a big motivator this week? Did it play any role in how you guys played today?
Oh, it definitely played a role. Just not because they're just the next team on our list, but because they hung 58 points on us and were throwing fade routes in the fourth quarter last year. And, you know, it's definitely a motivator this week, and we know that we're a better team this year, and we know that we can play against good teams like Utah State and be able to rebound when things go wrong. And credit to Utah State, they're a good team, and they're a really good team last year also. And I think we just outplayed them today.
What was kind of going through your guys' head in that third quarter when it gets closer? And was there one moment when you felt that you were back in it and kind of?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a 7-point game at one time, and you know, it's definitely you gotta. It's hard staying focused when you're winning, but you got to be able to play for 4 quarters. You can't turn it on and off and on and off. You got to be able to execute at all cylinders for 4 straight quarters, and then look up at the scoreboard. You can't go into halftime 35-7 and say, oh, we're gonna come out with this win easy or whatever. Because I mean, you saw what third quarter, 21 unanswered points, and they were right back in the game, and we just got to keep executing on things.
Did you feel like you guys did that? You know, did you kind of feel like you let off the gas, so to speak?
Not necessarily let off the gas. We just got to be able to focus more in those situations and be able to make plays and stick our foot on the gas pedal, and not necessarily. I didn't say we stepped off, but we necessarily didn't step on it. So I think we just need to learn from that, and we played well enough in the fourth quarter to come out with the win.
You guys have had a couple big leads this year, but is that still maybe sort of a new feeling for this team, playing with a 28-point lead on their back?
You know, I mean, it feels good playing with that big of a lead, especially on the defensive side, and I think it's awesome that we have an offense that can go down there and score at any time, and good running back, good quarterback, good receivers, good offensive line, and you know what, we got to be able to stop them on defense and get turnovers in that third quarter and be able to put them out.
It's not a big deal when DJ got ejected with the targeting thing. I mean, I know he's one of the top nickels and stuff. Just how big of an adjustment was that? How tough was that for the defense once you lost him?
Well, it's not necessarily that DJ went out, but our backup nickel also was hurt with Jalen. And so, I mean, we have a guy that doesn't rep any plays during practice, and Chavez came in there and he executed really well for not, I mean, he hasn't repped any plays all week at nickelback, and he's just been playing safety. So as my role, I got to be able to talk to him out there and tell him kind of what he has to do almost on every play. But he's a smart kid, and he picked it up quick, and I think he played really well coming in there, especially not being able to practice all week with that.
You guys get to lose a home game so far this season. How much of an advantage is it being a Myron now?
It's huge, especially with that student section. They're doing good every week, and we just got to keep it rolling. A couple weeks we play here again. Next week we go to UNLV, and that's the next focus on our list. That's the next person on our list, and we got to go to Las Vegas and keep taking steps forward.
What do you think about having the rifle as a trophy?
I didn't know where it was. I was the first one to go find it, and then it was way over. It was like way over here by the cowboy horse, and I was kind of tired after I got it. But you know, it's pretty cool. I never really knew what it looked like because I guess we never won it. So, but it feels good to be able to have another trophy along with the boot.
You mentioned last year they scored a lot late, and you guys have a chance to score late and end up taking a knee. Is that the way you preferred it, to maybe not?
Yeah, I'm sure there was temptation to throw it deep, but we went out on a good note, and I think the best play in football is that victory knee. So I think it was good.
It's a heck of a start.
Thank you.
5-7, throwing, you seem on target and everything. Just how much was the offense clicking? How much were you clicking in that first half?
We came out and we played like, we hoped to play, and we passed the ball well, we ran the ball well. It was just a complete, surgence of the offense, in part by everybody. The line did a great job, and the receivers made some plays. Brian Hill is going to do what Brian Hill does. So it was a great start. Came out second half a little sloppy. Glad we turned things around, though.
Did you feel like there was some confidence that kind of carried over from the end of last week with that quick start offensively?
Oh, definitely. And anytime you get off to a start like that, it just kind of relaxes the whole football team. And going into halftime, 35-7 was huge for us because obviously we came out the second half and we didn't really move the ball in the third quarter very much. So having that lead, gave us a little bit of cushion, allowed us to get our heads back on track.
Offensively in that third quarter, when you weren't able to get some guys going, was there just sense of, did you let off the gas, so to speak, or what do you think? Did they make some adjustments? What would you kind of say about that?
We came out, we tried to run the ball, and they did a good job stopping it, and we threw a few quick passing games. They batted them down at the line, and then the run I had up the side, it really wasn't supposed to happen. So just being able to trust myself and allowing Coach Vegan to call that play for me to make.
Was that long run when you guys maybe finally felt like you were out of that rut when in the third quarter?
Definitely. I kind of turned things around. We were pretty stagnant up to that point, so I knew we needed a play, we needed a spark, and just kind of tried to establish one.
Josh, you've made a number of throws this year on the run for touchdowns and other big plays. Is that something you practice during the week?
Not really. I don't really roll out in practice very much. It's just kind of a natural feeling for me. I've grown up doing it. Pop Warner football didn't have an offensive line that could block, so I was running all over the place and just kind of developed that skill, and it's progressed here pretty nicely, I guess.
Outside of Brian's big touchdown run, did you feel like they held you guys pretty well against the run? Did their run defense play pretty well?
Yeah, they played really well. And they we set out to get 185 yards rushing. I think we topped that. That was our goal before the game, one of the keys to win the game. So, they played well. But Brian Hill, you can't contain him for too long, and he's going to do his thing. So, I love having that guy in the backfield.
You guys got the win tonight. Obviously, that's a great feeling. But what comes to mind when you feel like you're 7-2? How does that feel?
Well, we still have a lot to do. Being 5-0 in the conference, 3 games left. We got to prepare like it's the first game of the season, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to take each week, week at a time, and plan to go 1-0.
Did you ever feel, Josh? I know we talked at the beginning of the week after the Boise game. That was an emotional win, a huge win, and maybe there'd be a hangover or letdown. Obviously, with the way you started off, is there a doubt in your mind that wasn't going to be an issue?
No, this team, we got a group of special guys, and we've matured tremendously, over the past year, and every type of situation that we've been put in, we've had some adversity, and we've gone past it, and we've progressed as a team pretty nicely. So no doubt in my mind that I think we were going to have a hangover or any type of moment like that. We're a bunch of football players, and that's what we do.
How big of a sigh of relief was there when Logan got his pick at the end?
That was huge. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he's come up with a few big picks this season that have really ended a few games. He's a special player, and being a redshirt freshman, he's going to have a really good career.
Logan, after dropping a pick last week, were you out to get one this week?
Wow, I don't even know what to say. That pick was, I mean, that was all the credit to Nella on defense, the whole defensive line, putting that pressure on the quarterback, forcing him to make a throw that was tipped by Nella, and then I just had to, do the rest. And I mean, I didn't score, but that's all right.
Feel like a corner with the speed going down the field?
I don't know, a little bit. I was getting a little gassed. Dewey came flying past me, and I was like, holy cow. I must not be running very fast, but Dewey's a fast kid, so.
Was it Logan? I mean, you got 35-7, and then Utah State comes out and scores 21 points in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What happened in that sequence, and what were you able to do to kind of weather the storm, so to speak?
Football is a game of ups and downs. I mean, there's adversity that's going to happen, and how you respond to that says a lot about your team. And I think after that they got to 28 points, we responded pretty well. But I mean, we don't want to let them get as many points as they ended up getting, so we got to try to minimize that.
DJ may be one of the tougher guys that you could lose on defense just because of his kind of unique skill set.
Definitely, he's a very speed guy. He's very good. He's very good in open field. He's agile. I mean, he's a tough kid to replace, but I think Chavez did a really good job of filling in for him.
It's feel to be, get another one. You're 7-2, you remain in first place, and they just kind of keep getting bigger from here. But is that pretty exciting? Does he feel more pressure, or is it more excitement? How do you kind of, at least for you, how do you approach that?
It's very exciting. But our goal every week is to go 1-0, and we know we're not going to play a perfect game every week. So we're going to watch the film, critique it, and get better next week, and hopefully come out and start punching UNLV in the mouth next week. So.
What did you guys feel during that third quarter? Was it all kind of reminiscent of the fourth quarter at Nebraska, anything like that, or?
I mean, not really. We try not to live in the past very much, especially in the game of football, which is full of ups and downs, like I said earlier, and adversity. And if you live in the past and you just, keep bickering about the one thing you did on 10 drives ago or something, I mean, it'll hurt you in the long run. So we try not to do that.
Like Logan, those guys, I mean, their quarterback left the game. When I saw running back leave the game, it seemed like there were always guys down, and I'm not out to hurt them, but did it show just how physical you were? I know you've been a pretty physical team this season.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you guys were pretty physical out there?
I thought we were pretty physical, but I think they were too. I don't know if, the reason they got hurt was because we're out physicaling them, because football is a game of physicality, especially at this level, Division I. And they're a team that, they were trying to find a win, trying to find, a way, like trying to play for pride like we were last year. And even though I wasn't playing, but, we were trying to play for pride last year, and this year we're out to, we have more to play for this year, so.
I know you weren't able to play against Utah State last year, but you weren't able to play. Josh Allen wasn't able to play. Logan Wilson didn't play. And those guys were pretty big. You guys are all big difference makers. That just goes to show how it's a different year. This is a different team compared to the one that lost pretty handily up there last year.
Yeah, it's completely different. We just have a completely different mindset. We know what those guys did to us last year, particularly at the end of the game. And we just kind of knew that it was time for revenge, and we got a good win tonight.
Was that, I know a lot of you guys talked about that in the week. Was that a big motivator for you guys for what happened last year? Did it play a factor, or at least how did you approach it, I guess?
Yeah, I think Coach Bohl kind of made it clear that, us as a team are kind of a family, and when they do something like that to one of our guys at the end of the game, it was kind of did it to all of us. So just a little added extra motivation for the game, I would say.
Do you feel like the first half that's about as well as the offense has been clicking all year?
Yeah, I think so. We kind of got everything going and everything was working. Obviously, we'll watch the film Monday and find things to correct, but I thought offensively it was a good game.
Because through the two touchdowns you got, especially the second one where Josh was rolling, and there wasn't a lot of room for you either. So can you take us through those a little bit?
Yeah, that's kind of just a typical play, I guess, now for Josh. Rolls out and just makes a miraculous throw. I don't know how he does it, but it's been fun, and I kind of we got to know as receivers that when he rolls out, he can throw it to anybody. So we just kind of find a way to get open.
You've been on the receiving end on more of those than anybody else, it seems like. Was that one maybe even more impressive because he was rolling left rather than his right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but it just shows his arm strength. Not many guys can make that throw, probably not even at the NFL level, rolling left and throwing it however many yards on the run. So it was really impressive.
You find it pretty amazing, Tanner, the consistent ability that he shows to run, going that way, going this way, and showing the arm strength. And getting the ball into the end zone, and a couple plays this year we do.
Yeah, he's just a great player. He's been waiting for this opportunity for a really long time, and to kind of be the man. And I just think a lot of people didn't know that he had the running ability and the kind of that athlete that he is, I would say. But yeah, he's been doing a great job this year. It's been fun.
Is it nice to have the rifle for the first time?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had it down in the locker room. I guess I've never seen it before, but it's pretty cool.